to learn and grow, and not just to forget, but to learn about leadership and how you can go back into your perhaps neighborhood, church, school, and help and strengthen what's happening around us. When it comes to Latinos, even though we're celebrating somewhat late, a few days, with the Hispanic Heritage Month. But I just want to say this, and before I introduce our keynote speaker, we have a lot of civic-minded individuals here who represent organizations, nonprofits, and even parades, either if it's Camden, Vineland, Atlantic City, Newark, you name it, throughout the city. But there's a lot of grassroots that they represent, meaning the culture. And that's good because that's part of the gift of our culture. Learning about our gift, right? No solamente la comida, ¿verdad? Spirituality, our heritage, our tradition. We have so much what I call beauty, around us. And we need to celebrate that beauty outside of not just in our home, but outside. And that makes us so great, When we all come if it's from the Caribbean, from Central or South America, we're all here as one. And that's the whole purpose, I remember George Julio Mendez, who was a keynote speaker last year, said it so well, how we all can come together, put together some policies that's going to help us, going to benefit us, so we can continue to grow. 3 millones de hispanos en el estado de Nueva Jersey. You should be proud. You should be proud, and it means a lot. Let me just say thank you to the board of directors. You guys are fabulous. Right, he said. And I need to. He's very inspiring. But I think he needs to come out and know that. He's so committed, and that is our president of the Hispanic Leadership Association, Yanni Santiago. Give it up, please. So many sponsors are recognizing, we'll continue to recognize you because of you, we are here. And all the awardees, you're the unsung heroes. Oftentimes it's like, wow, I do so much. It's like no one mentions or I'm not even, but we do. We know who you are and what you do in your community. It's a true blessing. And we need to say thank you. And then please don't forget, next year, I hope that everybody will come back to continue our 12th Annual Hispanic Leadership Summit. And then as Lisette stated, hashtag HLANJ. Please take those funny photos, some good, serious photos. And then again, hashtag HLANJ. So now it gives me great honor. Actually, I told her I have 20 pages about her, but no, I was only kidding. But we are really honored to have the commissioner. She was appointed by great Governor Murphy, and of course she had the blessing of the Senate to become the first Latina as commissioner for the Department of Community Affairs. Es un honor, una alegría de saber que tenemos a alguien ahí con los demás, junto con el gobernador, haciendo decisiones para el bienestar de nosotros acá en Nueva Jersey. So let me just say this. I don't know why I'm taking off my glasses, but yeah. It is now my pleasure to introduce the next speaker, Jacqueline Suarez, who serves as Commissioner of the New Jersey State Community Affairs. She also oversees the local government services within the State Department of Community Affairs. In this role, Commissioner Suarez oversees 564 municipalities throughout the state of New Jersey, along with numerous agencies focused on redevelopment and housing. She serves as the chairperson of the local finance board and brings an incredible intellect, work ethic, and passion for service to the position. As a member of Governor Murphy's administration, she is leading efforts to create a stronger, fair New Jersey We are grateful to have Commissioner Suarez with us this evening. Please join me in welcoming Commissioner Jacqueline Suarez at this time. Commissioner.
Buenas noches. First of all, thank you to Annual Gala. I really do appreciate it. I know you are the founder of this organization, and Johnny Santiago, thank you so much for including me in tonight's festivities and this gala. What you will hear a little bit from me tonight is that I truly believe that you students are the future of us. So you are the future of New Jersey. It is truly up to you to make sure that you kind of pick up the torch and carry it forward and what you want to achieve and what you see as our community going forward. And I was asked to talk a little bit about my life and how I got here, and quite frankly, I am not a self-promoter. I don't enjoy it. I love talking about the Department of Community Affairs. I love talking about what we do. So I could start a little bit there. Who knows what DCA actually does? Don't be shy, because I didn't when I started working. So DCA, even though it sounds like the Department of Community Affairs, you think, oh, community engagement, that's definitely what their tie is. So does the legislature, by the way. Because if the legislature doesn't know where to stick something in the state of New Jersey, they're like, it's got a community tie, and we're going to put it in the Department of Community Affairs. Which is helpful for me in the sense that I enjoy diversity, and I enjoy never knowing what I'm going to enter into that day. And I know we have got some fire people here today, but I feel like I put out a lot of fires across the state of New Jersey, just in a governmental and political way. So we oversee Department of Community Affairs. We have local government services, as was mentioned. Just to be clear too, the only reward in government for good work is more work, so I'm still wearing that hat as Director of Local Government Services. We have fire safety. We have codes and standards. We have disaster recovery mitigation, which used to be Sandy Recovery Division. We have housing community resources. We have the largest housing authority in the state of New Jersey. We have the Office of Government Records Counsel, so OPRA, making sure that public documents are made public for individuals to read. We have historic trusts. We have urban enterprise zones. We oversee the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority. We oversee the New Jersey Housing Mortgage Finance Agency. And we have local planning services. I mean, the list goes on and on. Suffice it to say, it's a pretty large department with a wide breadth. Definitely the largest breadth of any department in the state of New Jersey, and I am very privileged to be at its helm right now. So how did I kind of get here? I think it's kind of important also for us to hear from people to understand their lived experiences so that we can identify with them. And we understand that there is no ceiling on what it is that we can achieve, especially when we're talking about our youth. Because quite often, I believe that we are our own obstacles. We think that we're not good enough, that we can't move forward fast enough, and we need to kind of put that to the side so that way we can embrace our greatness. So, I was a kid who grew up to a single mom who worked 3 jobs. And that was just my reality. That's just what I expected everybody needed to do to kind of make ends meet. And in high school, I worked full-time. In college, I worked full-time. Law school does not allow you to work full-time. Is that okay?
A little closer, Bethany.
I've never been told I'm quiet, but we're going to try this. So, I was a latchkey kid, which essentially meant that I would come home from school since I was 9 years old to an empty house. And I would let myself in and I did my homework. And I made sure that I did whatever I needed to do to make my mom's life a little bit easier because she worked 3 jobs. And I wanted things when I was in high school, so I worked full-time when I was in high school. Don't tell the Department of Labor. And then when I went to college, I worked full-time there too. And by the time I graduated college, I had made sure that I could pay off what I had for college, and I had enough scholarships to make that a reality for me. And then going into law school does not allow you, just for all those paying attention, to work full-time unless you were going part-time. So I couldn't work full-time, but guess what I did? I made sure I applied for scholarships like that was my full-time job. So I encourage you who are all getting scholarships here tonight to just keep that going. Because even though you constantly think to yourself, I'm not going to get it, or there's 1,000 people applying for this scholarship, the truth is 5 apply for it often. And you've got a great shot at getting it. So again, don't let yourself be your greatest obstacle. So born and raised in New Jersey, but worked really hard, and I decided I want to try a different area. So I went to college down at American University in Washington, D.C., but I always knew I wanted to come back to New Jersey. Why? Because it might sound a little corny, but I truly wanted to be the change that I wanted to see in New Jersey. And back then, I didn't identify with anybody who was in the rooms where decisions were being made. And I wanted to make sure that people who I could identify with and looked like me were in the rooms where those important decisions were going to be made. So I decided to definitely come back to New Jersey. My whole family is here. This is where I wanted to kind of break that, what I considered a boys club up. And I will say, over the last couple of decades, there has been incredible strides made across the state of New Jersey to make sure that we're much more diverse when it comes to government and politics, as we are the most diverse state in the country. And that is, I think, a big accomplishment so far. But the job's not done. It's not done, but we're making strides, and that's important. So when I came back to New Jersey, I said I definitely want to practice law, or at least I thought I wanted to practice law, but since that's my price tag, I'm going to make sure that that's what I wanted to do. So I interned for a judge in Monmouth County, because that's where I was living at the time, and I decided this is definitely what I wanted. So I said, I'm going to Rutgers. And why am I going to Rutgers? Because I want to be here in the state of New Jersey. And to my Camden people, you know that I went to Rutgers Camden for law school. And I made that my home. I lived in Camden for those years. I taught constitutional law school to, yes, I know, it's East Side High now, but it was Woodrow Wilson High School at the time. And I was a big sister at Leap Academy, and I also was a Marshall Brennan Fellow, which meant that I was helping kids get to Washington, D.C. to compete. And I wanted to make sure that I was paying it forward to those kids who I was going to help, because I was once in their shoes. And at Rutgers, I was able to apply for Eagleton Fellowship. And Eagleton is essentially the intersection of politics and whatever it is that your major of study is. So for me, it was law at the time. That was my higher education. And I had two professors there, Pete McDonough and Joe Doria. And if you don't know who those two gentlemen are, Pete McDonough worked under the Christine Todd Whitman administration, our only female governor. And Joe Doria, at the time, I'm hopeful. There's another, there's got to be another woman, I know it. And Joe Doria, who used to be the mayor of Bayonne, which is where my whole entire family is originally from. And then he was also the speaker of the assembly at the time. And ironically, coming full circle, and as my chief of staff always says, it's kismet, he was the Department of Community Affairs commissioner. And he gave me this hard nudge and said, no, you're going to go intern in counsel's office for the governor. And I had no idea what the heck he was talking about. And essentially, counsel's office is a small group of attorneys who advise the governor on their policy, their legislation, and their litigation, and move forward their policy agenda. And I loved it. And that was under the Christie administration at the time. And fast forward, I was supposed to be going to a large firm. It did not call to me. I was not passionate about it. I liked the price tag, I'll be honest with you. I really liked how much they were going to pay me. And somebody had said, well, DCA is hiring, so you should maybe apply to DCA. And I applied to DCA and I got the position as legislative liaison there under then Chuck Richmond, who was our commissioner. And they were honest with me. They said, you're going to make half. Just to be clear, you're going to make literally half of what you'd make going to work for a law firm. And I said, yeah, but I'm passionate about this and I want to help people. And this is kind of my calling. So I was fortunate enough to be there for a couple of years. That was the tail end of the Christie administration. The Murphy administration came in. And if you know, the late Lieutenant Governor Sheila Y. Oliver became our commissioner of the Department of Community Affairs. And I did not know what to expect. I had heard some great things, but I didn't know her. And let me tell you, she was every wonderful thing that you ever did hear about her. She looked out for her people. She was a wonderful leader. She cared about those who were on her staff. And so she kept me on for a little bit. I stayed there for about 2 years. And then an opportunity presented itself for me to go back to counsel's office as a full-fledged attorney, which is something I always wanted to do. And I was a little nervous, and I sat down with the Lieutenant Governor, and I said to the Lieutenant Governor, I have this opportunity. What do you think? And she said to me, Jacqueline, you got to take this. I don't hold my people back from good opportunities, and this is a great opportunity for you. And that was a little bit of a light bulb moment for me, because I realized that great leaders make sure that they build up their folks, that they make sure that they are supporting them in their endeavors to make sure that they're going to be successful going forward. And that's something that I really tried to not only identify with, but put forward with my staff. So I made sure that, one of my professors, Joe Doria at the time, who said he was all about Machiavelli, really big, brilliant man, Not a lot of Machiavelli that I would say that you should try. But one thing that I really did take on from him was that you don't surround yourself with yes people. That you surround yourself with people who are going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you the pros, they're going to tell you the cons. And I've empowered my staff to always do that. We should have honest, frank conversations behind closed doors. We are making the best possible decisions that we can for the residents of New Jersey. Once the decision is made, we're all on board, out in public, but behind closed doors, we can go at it like cats and dogs to make sure that we come up with the best ideas possible, the best policies going forward. And the Lieutenant Governor also was a huge proponent that you treat everybody the same. You treat everybody as though it doesn't matter what politics they believe in, what side of the aisle they believe in. You make the decisions for the residents of New Jersey based on the statutes and the regulations that we have and what's in the best interest of those residents. And that was something that I've really carried forward. So as I moved on, the Lieutenant Governor called me back a couple of years into my tenure as in Council's office. In Council's office, you know, you pretty much have a portfolio. I got to keep DCA in my portfolio, and then they gave me just a couple of others, like Department of Health, Department of Human Services, Department of Children and Families, and the Administrative Office of the Courts. You know, just a small little portfolio for me to handle. And it was daunting at first, but I absolutely loved the experience. The LG then called me up and said, I want you to come back and head up the Division of Local Government Services. And I actually said to her, isn't there somebody else more qualified? And she said to me, Jacqueline, first of all, don't ever say that again to anybody else, which I've kept in the back of my head, by the way, just to be clear. And she said, we talked a little bit about imposter syndrome at that time and what that really meant. And she told me, you're the exact right person for the job. And you know how I know that? Because you don't want it. And she explained to me that this could be a really political job, that people use it sometimes for political fodder. And she said, I know that's not what you're going to do. What you're going to do is you're going to make those decisions based on the statutes and the regulations and the best interests of the residents. Because as Director of Local Government Services, I have oversight of Atlantic City. I know my Atlantic City people are in the house. Yeah! Yes, yes! Representing loudly, for one, I like it. And also Camden, and my Camden people are definitely in the house. And I asked for the weekend just to talk it over with my husband and to make sure that this is something that I was prepared to take on. And I called him up really excited that Monday and said, yes, I will take on this role. And I haven't really looked back since. And I give my husband a lot of credit because he's usually with me all the time. And now that I'm in that position of leadership, I want to make sure that I am always uplifting my staff and what that kind of looks like and what that really means. And for me, it means having honest conversations about what their goals and aspirations are. Because nobody is a better employee than an employee who feels supported and an employee who understands that they have a path forward in your organization. And they will move mountains to make work happen. So we've had very frank conversations to make sure that the work that they're doing marries, or at least somewhat marries, to their ideals and their goals. And if not, then we have a frank conversation about what does that mean for them going forward and where maybe their trajectory should be and how can I help them get to that next step. So from an organizational standpoint, you have to have not only good talent, but you really want them to grow. So I also encourage all the students who are here tonight to make sure that you are building up those mentorship opportunities, that you are asking questions, that you're advocating for yourself. Because sometimes I've learned more from my supervisors who actually did not support me going forward. And I've taken those lessons from those who were kind of trying to hold me back going forward and use that to propel what I wanted to do with my staff in the future. And quite frankly, I will tell you that I've always made sure that when I'm trying to wedge my way through that door that's been cracked open a little bit, it's really my job to make sure I'm cracking it open a little wider for those who are coming back behind me. And the Lieutenant Governor also left me with one piece of wisdom, which I really did appreciate, that the only time that you should be looking down on somebody is when you're giving them a hand up. And that has stuck with me. And it's pretty surreal sometimes when people say to me, well, you're the first Hispanic commissioner of the Department of Community Affairs. And for me, I was so busy making sure that we were doing the good work that I didn't really focus on that. But for me, it's extraordinarily important to think about it's not just the impact that I'm having with my work, but what that representation means. And when the eyes are on you, you want to make sure that you are delivering on the promises, that you're delivering on the good work. So that way, when people see you, the people that they see who are coming up behind you are also being able to shine in that light. With this role, I'm definitely learning that it's not about what we did to get here, but what we're going to do with the power of the office that we have. And from my perspective, I really do want to be a good role model. And actually, when I was in Camden last for the roadshow tour about 2 months ago or so, a woman came up to me afterwards. And this is kind of that pivotal moment for me that will always ring true, I think, in my career. And she came over and said, "My daughter saw you on TV." And you know what she said to me? She said, "Mom, she's like us." And that's when it kind of clicked for me, that it's not just about me and what I'm doing in this role, but it's about what others see as their ability and opportunity going forward because I'm in this role. So I have to take really care to make sure that I'm leading by that example. I was certainly raised for the importance of work and what that really means for your family. As I mentioned, my mom works 2, often 3 different jobs at a time to make sure that we could figure out how we were going to juggle life. And that really helped me cultivate hard work, dedication, what that really meant. And really having this inner drive, I think, helped because it made me believe in myself and my confidence level. But I've had some people who have definitely not been helpful to me, who kind of put me or thought they were putting me in my place. And I mentioned to you that I interned in counsel's office under the Christie administration, and this was one of those pivotal moments for me. And also a lesson that I took away from something that I didn't like that was done to me. And when I was asked by those attorneys what it was that I wanted to do, and I said, I want to be here, counsel's office. This is so exciting. Like, this is amazing work. It's the intersection of government and politics and law. And this calls to me. And they literally turned to me and said, "You're not going to get here anytime soon. You have to pay your dues." And I thought to myself, I'm not afraid of hard work. I've been working hard since I was 14 years old, the second I can get my working papers in the state of New Jersey. I mean, I might have babysat since I was 9, but don't tell the Department of Labor. But as soon as I had my working papers, I went to go work for a farm. And I understood what it meant to literally work with your hands. And so when somebody told me that, that just made me work even harder. And I think quite often it's that adversity, that pressure, as we all know, right? Literally a lump of coal can turn into diamond under pressure. And I truly believe that. So what I took from that experience was when I needed guidance, when I needed help, when I needed somebody to point me onto a path, and instead of doing that, they just kind of put me down, I've always done the exact opposite any time that somebody has come to me and said, "This is my dream." It doesn't matter where they're starting off in their career. People understand that there are going to be steps, there are going to be rungs, and that's something that I've tried really hard to do to make sure that next rung is always free for somebody on the ladder of success. So, I know some of you who are here tonight are college students, law students, and people who are just starting out in their careers. And if I can offer you 2 pieces of advice, it is ask questions and build relationships. You will be amazed at who actually wants to help you. Most people actually enjoy helping others, right? It gives them a little bit something back. But what I want to just remind you is you have to pay it forward once it's paid to you. That's your obligation in being a member of this society. But I want to encourage you really just to dream big. Atrévete a soñar. Because it is those dreams that are going to propel you forward. And if there's nobody who looks like you in the room, don't be afraid to ask those questions. I have been there. I have done that. I have been where people don't look like me. They were not a female. They did not have a Hispanic last name. They were 2nd or 3rd generation lawyers. They did not know what it meant to be the first in their family to do something. I myself was the first in my family to go to law school. I was the first SWATex to graduate college. I understand what that is like. Ask those questions. I jokingly say all the time that I pestered the attorneys in counsel's office when I was working there. I asked them constantly, can I sit in on this? Can I do that meeting? And ironically, it's my Atlantic City in the house. At the time when I was interning in that office, we were doing the Municipal Stabilization and Recovery Act. I was in those rooms having that conversation about what those statutes were going to look like. And let's see, 5 years later, I was the one wearing the hat implementing that law. So, Dream big. And have those mentors where you want to be, right? Have the mentor at the pinnacle of where you want to be in your career, and have those mentors in the in-between where you want to be. Because it's really important to have people who have been there along the whole way, and people who are recently been there too, who can advise you as to what the next steps kind of look like. I know the theme for this gala is really about united by purpose, honoring excellence, and I truly do believe that. So, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of a challenge. Start that tonight. Start those mentorships tonight. Embrace those conversations. Ask somebody who sounds like what they're doing is of interest to you, and literally ask them what a day in their life is like. And there, see what resonates with you, what you might be able to replicate, because you never know where those connections are going to lead. And I will tell you, there are no 6 degrees of separation in New Jersey. I'm there.
Being here today and setting an example.
I want to thank the Hispanic Leadership Association for honoring Ralph. This journey has been humbling, challenging, and a blessing. We got this. We have so much to do and to help the people in our community. Quitting is never an option. Ralph showed us what a real warrior is. Everyone has their battles in life. Some win these battles, and some may lose. Even in his struggle, he proved that illness did not define him. If he were here, he would have thanked his parents and his brother for supporting him all these years. He would have thanked his children for letting him be the great father that he was. He would have thanked those who supported and understood his vision. If you knew Ralph at this point, he would have said something witty and inspiring that would have amplified that little voice inside all of us that tells you you can and keep going. Take a moment and celebrate those that you love.
Everybody, I'm here at the Hispanic Leadership Association's 11th Annual Gala. I'm so excited to be the keynote speaker this year. We honored many, many wonderful deserving people and honored many students with scholarships to help drive their careers forward. Thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to see what you guys do next year. Congratulations. Felicidades.
My name is Johnny Santiago, President of the New Jersey Hispanic Leadership Association. Tonight we celebrate our 11th Annual Gala. We have a special keynote speaker, Jacqueline Suarez from the Department of Community Affairs. We're looking forward to hearing her speak. We have a great band, Orquesta de Barrio. It's going to be a fantastic night. I am very excited tonight. It doesn't happen too often where we get a commissioner of her caliber to come out to our event. And again, we have hundreds of people here to enjoy this special night. And we look forward to enjoying this night with all the people, all of our guests. I thank you. We're a non-profit organization, and every little bit helps. Your attendance here, every guest here has contributed to our goals.
Quiero felicitar a Hispanic Leadership, 11 años de aniversario. Como presidente del Festival Puertorriqueño New Jersey, incorporado en Baila New Jersey, quiero agradecer por la invitación y darle las más congratulations, felicidades a todos ellos, que disfruten esta noche.
Le habla el concejal Falio Leiva Martínez de la ciudad de Camden. Aquí estamos celebrando los 11 años de Hispanic Leadership Association. Estamos aquí con nuestros concejales de la ciudad de Camden, diciendo presente también a la honorable Jacqueline Suárez, presente también aquí. Le damos la bienvenida y muchas gracias a todos por la invitación.
Una palabra de sabiduría para hoy. Eres un tipo inteligentísimo.
Bueno, creo que en la unión está la fuerza, como siempre se ha dicho, y hoy es un testamento de lo que se llama la unión, en el cual todos los líderes de aquí del estado de New Jersey, todos los líderes latinos, estamos aquí para decir que vamos a trabajar para un mejor New Jersey.
This is Henny Calderon reporting to you live from Violent, New Jersey. We're here with the New Jersey Hispanic Leadership Association. We're having our gala, our annual gala. You should have seen this tonight. If you was here, you would know what I'm talking about. Food, fun, community, everybody getting together. again, it's your boy Argenis Calderon. Everybody calls me Henny. I'm just showing love today. I just hope that you could come out to next year. Wow, if you could just see what I'm seeing right now, the love, the community, the vibe. Thank you, God. I love you guys.
My name is firefighter William P. Perez. It is an honor and privilege to be here today at the 11th Annual New Jersey Hispanic Leadership Awards. I am humbled to be amongst very distinguished guests that our purpose is in leadership of the community and sharing and passing forward all the positive things that we can do within our community. I am blessed to support and advocate for workers' rights as a union president and community and public safety. Thank you.
We had a good number of awardees, but one particular, Ralph Padilla, God rest his soul. He was honored. He's a legend. You know, his wife, his daughter, they were here to accept the award, and we are so grateful to Ralph Padilla. And let me say that we will never, ever forget Ralph Padilla. If you didn't show up today to celebrate our 11th Annual Hispanic Leadership Summit, you missed big. This place was packed. Everyone was so excited. All the honorees, the students who received the scholarship, and the sponsors, I need to say thank you. And to all of the board of directors of the Hispanic Leadership Association, thank you. We just can't wait till next year, so please join us and visit our website, www.hispanicleadershipnewjersey.org. Nos vemos pronto next year.
Hey guys, this is Ashu saying I'm here at the 11th Annual Gala for Jersey, and I'm here with my friend Ian D. Mosley. Él es mi compadre, la mi vida, mi mejor amigo, siempre. And he's here, he's going to introduce himself, and he's going to tell us how excited he is to be here.
I don't speak any Spanish, but I want to say that I am so excited to be a part of this organization and to be here to honor all of the fabulous individuals who are doing so much great work for the Hispanic community. I have a few friends that are going to be honored tonight, and I'm excited to be here. Angel Fuentes, who is the councilman from Camden City, he got us all the way down here, 45 minutes to an hour down here. I could not miss this event. I will be here. I was at the event last year. I will be here each and every year to honor all of those individuals, all of those Hispanic individuals who are doing the work to serve the community, all communities. So thank you very much for inviting me. A word of wisdom for everybody watching this. Community. Community, that's the word, community. And if I could throw in another word, unity.